Hey my beautiful music people, how you guys doing this week? I hope you're doing okay, staying safe and taking care of each other. Enough of that, let's talk about music. Let's talk about soloing as an artist, performer. So this week we're going to talk about the motherboard, you know, the whole roots of everything. As far as that goes, you guys could use anything you want. I actually have a little Yamaha that's that I picked up. I don't know, it's like less than $100, I think. It was like a 4 or 6 channel, and doesn't have any effects or anything on it like that. Of course, you don't need them, but you know, it's a powerless board, and I use that for like real small things. I'll bring and just use that. I don't really, you know, I'll use that once in a while if I'm doing, you know, a very small venue or playing and doing we call them, back in the day we called them casuals, when you do personal things like a party or a corporate thing. We called that casual, you know, just kind of a term that I don't know why they call it casual. It doesn't really make sense, but you know, performance is a performance, whether it's in front of 6 people or, you know, 6,000 people. So anyway, so what I use for, I'm going to get into my motherboard, and what I ended up settling on, you know, Presonic has a great board now, and you don't have to settle this, but when I saw the review on YouTube on this board, I'm going, yeah, I want it. Not that I would run it over with my truck, but when they showed on YouTube that they actually ran this board over in a truck because it's so solidly built, the guy picked it up, plugged it in, and everything worked fine. So that kind of sold me. You know, I like stuff that's built strong and it's not, you know, too sensitive, and it can handle the road and being knocked around and this, that, and the other. So what I ended up getting was the Mackie, the ZL14. It's a 14 channel. I went and got this little gator bag for it. It's a nice thick bag and it fits in here perfect. And it's a 14 channel board. But yeah, I just, and then I put this bag in my box. It's a tote box, kind of an anvil case, but it has a handle on it. It has 2 things, and I can, you know, put this in there, my effects, all my chords, everything like that, and put them in there, and call it done. And that way, you know, all the sensitive stuff's in one box. And this fits right in that box, barely, but it fits right in there. And even my book's in there. So anyway, so I went and bought this thing here. And I love it to death. I mean, I've owned other Mackie boards before, but this board here, let's see here, maybe I can give you a nice good look at it. That's the puppy right there. That's the puppy. That's what I use. And there's, yeah, it's got everything you need on it. For small venues, big venues, great EQ. And that's one of the reasons why I bought this, because they were saying that the reviews on this, the EQs were bitching. Really good EQing on here. So, yeah. That's about it. This is it. This is the dude right here. It's the, okay, it's the 1402 VLZ 4. And that's what it is. They've been out a little while, not super long, but anyways. Okay, I don't know if you can see this here. Hopefully you can see it pretty decent here. So here's your main, right and left main. This is a non-powered board, so there's no power to this board. I you know, everything's converted to powered speakers now. So. And here's your monitor, and then it's got 14 channels. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I have this here. I usually use one as my vocal channel. Vocals, acoustic, and my drums. So I just use 3 channels. So I don't really need, I usually mostly use this for my original project. I use this on my board here in my studio, my little desk studio I have, so I use that for my original. So I'll run through this just to want to EQ, because the EQs on this are just so amazing. and yeah, easy to gain stage it. And then here you've got the back, and this is what goes out. And of course I use, hey, knock it off. I use XLR cables for my speakers, and those go there. You can use regular 1/4 inch if you like, doesn't matter, but I use the XLR and XLR into the speaker. And so it's got everything you need. It's got phantom power if you need that or whatever. It's got everything. But what's amazing about this damn thing is totally a tank. Doesn't weigh that much, but I don't know what the weight is on it, but it's really not that big. But yeah, I usually use this most of the time, so that's what I do. Forget about it, you know, use this thing, be done with it. But no, you know what, seriously guys, there is so many boards in the past. You know how electronics are. It seems like every 6 months they're coming out with something new. I mean, you know, you can't, it's like that's just how it is with cameras, audio equipment, speakers, well, not so much speakers, but you know, so much electronics, especially digital. I mean, they're upgrading and changing, you know, every few months. And so you imagine like when 5 years go by, so because I got this thing 5 years ago, yeah, about 5-6 years ago, and I love it. It does me right, has never failed, strong board. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this Mackie board? Yeah, the 1402 VLZ4 is what I use. And if I said it before, yes, you could use anything you want. Matter of fact, I thought maybe I had my board out of here somewhere. I got a little board in here. Oh, is that it right there? I think that's it. Now I've used this, and you know what another good board is, guys, to use a good, you know, because you don't want to go too cheap with your equipment, because if you're going to be out playing every weekend, I'm telling you, man, you want something that's going to last a long time, and you never hardly ever have to replace. But this guy here, I picked this thing up, I know it was under 100, it's all dusty, but this thing right here, it's a little Yamaha. Yamaha makes great boards. So Presonic's got some new boards. I mean, there's just so many. Yeah, so it doesn't more, but I mean, I'm just familiar with Mackie because I've used Mackie over the years in performing and for PA systems and stuff like that, and they've always been a good workhorse and real strong and this, that, and the other. But this would work. This how many has? This, it says it's 6 channels, so I see there's two channels, and most of you guys probably will only use 2 channels. So that's it right there. That you can use this. I've used this at where have I used this? There. This thing works great. Nothing wrong with this. You know, doesn't have as many options as that does, but the little EQ you have on here works just fine. So you have it in and out. And you have you can go 1/4 inch or XLR out to your speakers, and I don't know, yeah, and it even has phantom power. You can't go bad with Yamaha. Come on, dude. Hey, you want to say hi to everybody? Yeah. Jeez. All right. So one of these days I'll show you the rest of the family. We've got Pepper here. She's a nut. She's a new girl, and we have another Siamese. This is just gorgeous, just a beautiful little guy, and then we have a 210-pound Mastiff, English Mastiff. Yeah, I swear, dude, I'm not lying. We'll get him on camera here pretty soon. He's out there snoring right now, because I had some people ask some questions on booking, and we'll get into that. We'll get into booking and what you'll come up against and how to handle it. This is just, I'm only going to show you what I do. It might not even blow your skirt up and you'll go, I don't know if I want to do it that way. But at least you know your options of kind of handling the situation and what kind of clubs you want to play and what and how to talk to these owners. Most of the time, owners are pretty open to you, and they'll listen to your pitch when you're pitching, and you say, hey, listen, I'd like to book a date here if it's all possible. And I always say, if it's a real popular place, when I've gone to certain towns and I've known through the grapevine that this club or this restaurant and bar is a really hopping place and a lot of the local musicians try to get in there, but I just go in there and just tell them, say, hey, listen, you kind of have to make it sound like, in the nicest way, make them sound like they're idiots if they don't hire you. That's another thing we'll get into later. But anyways, on what kind of songs I do on my set and stuff like that. So there's a lot to go through. But I wanted to give you my rig rundown, the VLZ, the Mackie board 1402 VLZ. They actually make a VLZ, I think a 1002. They make a 1002. So and these, the one thing about Mackie, they're not super expensive, so that's awesome. I dig them. They're great boards. I really love them. So anyways, enough of my yakking. Next week we'll come up with something, but if you guys have any suggestions and that you really want to know about, if I can't answer it for you, I'll do a little segment, a vlog for that. But you guys take care. God bless you all. Be safe, and do everything I would do.